I think I was quite conflicted about what I wanted to study at university, even until sort of my final year in high school. There was a real I had a lot of difficulty choosing between whether I wanted to study something like medicine, which is quite single track and specific, or whether I wanted to do a broader sort of humanities subject like archaeology. And in the end I thought I'll go with the broader humanities subject because it means that if I change my mind, if I'm not sure, if something completely random piques my interest, then I can maybe, study that topic for a year or something like that and then decide to do that, rather than being locked into a much more specific STEM pathway. So I think the thing about university is that it's not a permanent choice that you make. I certainly wasn't ready to definitely decide what I wanted to do for the rest of my life or what I wanted to study for the next 5 years when I was at high school. But I think one thing that it does let you do is explore all the options that are available. So there's such a diverse range of topics that you can study. You can study the history of the world, you can study its music, its philosophy, its art. You can literally go looking for things that will interest you. And I think that that's just a very worthwhile thing to try, and just to explore your interests, even if you're not ready to pick one yet. So when you're considering what you want to study at university, obviously that does feed back into the subjects that you study at high school. I wasn't totally sure what I wanted to study, so I picked a very broad range of subjects. I studied biology, I studied the human body, I studied history, and I studied English. So that meant that I still had a very broad range of options. I could have gone and done something like medicine or chemistry if I'd been interested in that, if I decided that was what I wanted to do. But it also meant that I had lots of subjects like politics or history or philosophy and behavioural studies that were also still available to me. And I think that that's a very practical step to take when you're thinking about choices for university. So in terms of specific things that humanities teaches you, it definitely teaches you to think very analytically and critically about subjects. So not just to read something and then say, oh well, it's in a book so it must be true. And I think that, on the one hand, employers are definitely looking for those kind of skills because they allow you to make critical judgments well, to make the best decisions, to think about things efficiently. But just in day-to-day life, it's also very helpful because it means if you're looking at one of 1,000 articles on Facebook that your aunt has tagged you in, and you know whether this is actually a genuinely interesting thing, or whether it was written by some madman in a basement who was, high on Doritos or something like that. And so it's definitely in a world that's getting saturated with information, it is such an important skill to be able to think critically and to analyse information that's been given to you.